Thank you, Ms. Arnwine, Mr. Dees, Mr. Elad, Mr. Verbitsky, and Mr. Yildiz. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in again applauding these recipients. We would now like to take a few brief moments to say goodbye to the Justice Prize. The Justice Prize is especially meaningful to my husband Peter because, as many of you know, being Jewish, his family escaped persecution in Hungary during World War II. Peter wanted to establish a prize for justice as a means of redressing the arbitrary use of power, the theme of which we have heard today again and again. He's especially appreciative of efforts to uphold the values and of all the efforts which are being heralded today. And as we can see, the work will never be done and may never be achieved in our lifetimes, but that's not a reason not to hope, and it's not a reason to stop fighting. We will now show a very brief 4-minute biographical video of Peter, which is relevant to the Justice Prize, so those of you who have not met him can get a little glimpse of the man behind this prize.
I throw my glass so that others would throw their jade. The meaning of that is that what I'm doing is so little, and the hope is that other people will do a lot more.
And so here we are living in this totally crazy world where it's all about celebrity. And here's somebody who believes that there is such a thing as trying to reward in some way the people who are really extraordinary in our society.
Money is not an end in itself. I want to do something that I believe in. This may appear as generosity, but it's part of what you like to do, and to some extent it's selfish. It is. It's self-aggrandizement in a way.
I think it's true that they derive a great deal of satisfaction out of the awards, and they should. That's one of the rewards of philanthropy to the philanthropist, as well as to all the people that benefit from their philanthropy.
In the year 2000, the Peter and Patricia Gruber Foundation launched a series of international awards to recognize achievements that create a fundamental shift in human knowledge and culture. This unique philanthropic effort came from a unique man, one who was exposed to a variety of religions, cultures, and chaos at a very young age. Born in Hungary to Jewish parents, war forced Peter's family to India. He was educated at a boarding school in the Himalayas, then attended college in Melbourne, Australia, before heading to New York City.
I got into working for a small investment brokerage house, and my job was to essentially contact potential investors and ask them if they have an interest, and then turn it over to somebody else who was more skilled and more experienced. And then I was inducted in the Army. And I spent 2 years in the finance corps because they assumed that I was smart in financial affairs. And it turned out that I was. And so when I got out of the Army, I went to work for a New York Stock Exchange house.
Peter's rite of passage included starting a family and growing success on Wall Street.
I was lucky. In the 70s, the markets here were not very good. And I was in Argentina, and I made a great deal of money in the stock market there. I came to know more or less Latin American markets and the way they behaved.
He became a pioneer in emerging markets investing, running his own management company, Global Vest, with offices in the U.S. Virgin Islands and in Brazil.
I did fairly well, I suppose, with my experience in the game for many years, as well as the fact that I had a measure of personal luck. I mean, I won't... You can't eliminate that factor in your life. But I tell you one thing, the best thing that happened to my life is Patricia.
It's an amazing partnership. Peter's vision for these prizes was inspiring to Pat like it was inspiring to all of us. And Pat rose to the occasion. And here she is, running a foundation.
We feel we're rewarding fields that are very important and that are making significant contributions. So we hope that it will facilitate further excellence in their field.
The Peter and Patricia Gruber Foundation, with the help of its prestigious advisors and associations, has established prizes in cosmology, genetics, neuroscience, justice, and women's rights.
I'm in the theater of my witnessing, upon a stage where I'm taken by my own acting. And when the play is done, it was for nothing. At first, all was empty. But as I return to my seamless witness that knows no masks, direction, or meaning, beyond the gods, beyond the future, I'm not seduced by eternity or the thirst for more.
Thank you. Due to Peter's health, he's not able to be with us today. His two children are here, Vicki and Ron Gruber. Would you like to stand up for a quick moment? Yes. Peter is really pleased to know that the mission of the Foundation's Justice Prize will live on indefinitely at the Yale Law School. He sends congratulations to all of today's recipients, and his thanks and greetings to all of you who've come today to witness and support us in this last prize. The passionate support, the ideas, and the outreach of outstanding representatives in the legal field have contributed to all that the Justice Prize has been able to do. The Foundation has been fortunate to benefit from the dedicated friends who share the Gruber vision and commitment to justice as a fundamentally necessary component of our world. The list is long, and we wouldn't really be able to mention everyone. We want to thank Larry Tice, who was with us from the beginning, for his early work on all the prizes, but particularly on the Justice Prize. Justice Claire Leroux-Dubé, an early advisor who played a strong and shaping role for both the Justice Prize and the Women's Rights Prize. Our trustee, Neil Pryor, trustee Howard Hertz, who is here with us today and whom you saw in the video, provided invaluable guidance along the way, as did all our advisors. The Honorable Albie Sachs from the Constitutional Court of South Africa also shared so much up until the present day. All of those who have served over these 11 years as advisors to this prize have preserved its integrity. Their deliberations and care have brought attention to courageous efforts throughout the entire world. Those that have been honored have displayed, like today's recipients, courage in the trenches. They have had to stand strongly for principles and often at great personal cost. One of our best friends and supporters, Jerry Shestak, has recently died. We mourn his loss and we honor his memory. As you can see today, he's present with us here and he will be present with us. Jerry was truly a person whose entire life was dedicated to justice. And not many weeks passed without Jerry finding something to do or suggest for this Justice Prize. We shall miss him. Judge Bernice Donald, a longtime board member and foundation friend, will now say a few words about working with the Justice Prize. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Let me first say congratulations to the 2011 recipients of the Peter and Patricia Gruber Justice Prize. It's so fitting that we're here in Philadelphia today because this is the home of Jerry Shestak, and Marcia Rose is here. I just want to say that sitting at my desk in the early 2000s, I received a call from my friend, Jerry Shestak. He said to me, "There is something that I think you need to do, and I want to recommend you for it, and I hope you will accept it and agree to do this." As with all things that Jerry asked me to do, I said yes, and I am so grateful that I did. But that phone call changed my life. That phone call introduced me to Peter and Patricia Gruber. The last call I received from Jerry Shestak before he passed was about the mission, the work of the Peter and Patricia Gruber Foundation. It was about the recipients of this year's prize. Jerry never stopped fighting the fight for the cause of justice. And he would say to us that we can never afford to stop fighting the fight for justice. Dr. Martin Luther King said, and it was not original to him, that the arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice. The law of physics would tell us that an intractable object does not bend of its own volition, but it only happens when sufficient and appropriate force is applied to that object, thus causing it to bend. The recipients of this year's prize constitute that force that causes the intractable object of injustice to bend, to move, and it moves us steadily toward ultimate justice. We know today, as we've always known, that laws are not self-executing. All nations write wonderful laws that speak to justice, but it is up to us, as Mr. Dees said today, people of good will, people of the hearts and minds that are committed to justice, to make justice a reality. Dr. King said that a threat to justice, a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We must eradicate the threat to justice. And serving on the Justice Prize Committee of the Peter and Patricia Gruber Foundation has caused me to become more committed than ever to the eradication of injustice. Working with the foundation has created in me a profound sense of hopefulness that the good will of good men and women everywhere will continue to work to eradicate injustice and bring justice to the deserving people of the world. And all people yearn and crave for justice, no matter their locale, no matter their class, no matter their condition. My work with the Gruber Foundation has caused me to recognize the inextricability of the human destiny, the fierce urgency of now, the high cost of injustice, and indeed the inevitable reality that all people deserve and must have justice. It also reminds me that justice is not synonymous to law, as we've heard this as we've heard this morning. And finally, serving on this committee has caused me to know that in the world community, our lives, our hopes, our dreams, and yea, our destinies are inextricably intertwined. And it's also caused me to again affirm that the arc of the universe is long, but because of you, it does bend toward justice. Each of us as stakeholders must renew our commitment to justice. Peter and Patricia Gruber will brook no toleration for injustice, and they have chosen to commit their lives and their fortunes to eradicating injustice, that all of us might be better for it. And for this today, we give them our profound and our lasting thanks. Thank you.
Thank you to all of you. This concludes our program. Join me in a final one more salute to today's recipients and to the Final Justice Program. We look forward to its new incarnation. Thank you.